Thanks for watching CBS 8 Plus and welcome to this Throwback special. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. With 75 years of broadcasting, we've been able to share so many memorable moments that mattered to our San Diego community and beyond. In this Throwback special, we're talking about Super Bowls, the 3 that America's finest city hosted and the one our old team played in.
Let's start it off with Super Bowl 22 back in 1988, played at what was then Jack Murphy Stadium. It was the Broncos against Washington. The game was a chance for the city to shine and make a little money.
And as Connie Healy found out, you had to spend some to make some.
We've been sold out for months. We're all anticipating the event, so we're all excited about it.
We couldn't fathom how busy it's going to be.
We're going to put up a football 44 feet high, and we're going to float it in the bay. The material will stretch the length of 3 football fields. There's 43,200 inches of thread, 8,500 cubic feet of air. It weighs more than the refrigerator.
We're putting 6 mil plastic over the entire playing area to create a greenhouse effect. We reseeded the entire field with PhD ryegrass, which is Regal, Derby, and Gator, plus a little bit of Sabre Potravialis.
They give us the best looking field we've ever had.
Putting up some platforms
Report.
for the Super Bowl.
Moving lumber.
Better be a good Super Bowl. That's all I can say.
Working for minimum wage.
Doing all the specialty work. I tighten it up so everything don't come loose.
We're putting in the sound system, putting in lots of new sound for the Super Bowl.
We had more seats for the Super Bowl. That's all we know.
We are on the threshold of the ultimate party. The city is ready, and the guests are beginning to arrive. With suitcases in hand and pockets full of money, they are ready to take on San Diego. And the city is hoping, when all is said and done, they will take a little of us home with them and leave a lot of their money behind.
We estimate there's over 75,000 visitors in town. They're all staying in various lodging. Some of the money that they use to spend on those nights of lodging goes right into the city coffers, so the city will have some extra money because of the Super Bowl.
Taxpayers have heard that now for months, but what about the bottom line? What's it going to cost?
We're spending roughly a little over $1 million. That's coming from construction from the stadium, traffic control for police officers, and miscellaneous $50,000 for street improvements.
That also includes increased police protection. In turn, it's projected we will make back over $1 million, with money coming from hotel taxes, parking concessions, and the city's cut of concessions at the stadium. A good portion of that will go toward further promotion of the city. The rest will go into city coffers. Mayor Maureen O'Connor hopes the real payoff will come down the line.
And it's our hope that the people will come to San Diego, a lot of corporate heads will be here, that they will enjoy San Diego, they will convince their corporations and organizations to come back and have a convention in San Diego. Plus, we have a lot of corporate heads that are coming in here, and hopefully they'll take a look at San Diego, like it, and move their corporations to San Diego. And I think this is an opportunity to show us in our best light. I'm looking at the high-tech industry. We need job generating that is more than just a minimum wage.
According to the people who keep the statistics, we'll break even. The city will make as much off the Super Bowl as it spends. And according to Mayor Maureen O'Connor, San Diego will get in the bargain the kind of publicity money can't buy. Connie Healy, News 8.
Super Bowl week is full of fanfare and events, including Media Day. What you see today is nothing like what it was back in the 80s, when it was much more of a low-key affair, but it was also a chance, the game, to highlight San Diego in the middle of winter and make football fans around the country a little jealous, as our Lauren Nancarrow learned. And John Kalia found out that Media Day was more of a chance to learn about how popular football was becoming all around the world than anything about the players or the game.
If it moves in San Diego this week, chances are good a camera will be focused on it. If it says San Diego or Super Bowl, an out-of-town photographer will be clicking away. San Diego will be the dateline of thousands of news stories between now and Sunday. Small papers like the Boulder, Colorado Daily Camera sent reporters.
I'd like a quote from Vance Johnson or Dexter Manley that's about as colorful as Bosworth's mohawk.
And big stations like WUSA in Washington, D.C. sent their big guns. Former Redskin quarterback Sonny Jurgensen is now getting the interviews he once gave.
I stay with nuts and bolts and more with the football stuff than some people do.
It's a little scary if you think about it. Suddenly, all across the country, television sets are going to be projecting pictures like the one behind me. Weathermen will be doing their weather forecast from here, and instead of talking about wind chill factors and frostbite, they'll be talking about sunscreen and sunglasses.
In many ways, Denver weatherman Cliff Nicholson is just like other tourists, snapping pictures of Shamu in between beaming his weather forecast back to Colorado via satellite. Channel 9 is doing their entire newscast from SeaWorld.
I called up about 10 o'clock this morning and it was 23 degrees out in Denver, and here it was about 60 degrees. Now that is fabulous. I'm going to make everybody so jealous.
If you speak well, you may be interviewed by some of the visiting media this week. Even if you don't speak well, you may be interviewed.
What do you think of Washington?
This fair warning: if you have an itch this week, look for cameras before you scratch. The world is watching.
all the way, right?
So obviously the opposition knows who you are. You're no longer the secret weapon.
Yeah, they do. Did they spell my name right?
This was the day for reporters to ask their most intelligent question, to take their best shot.
What legends can you make about that?
Or their worst shot.
What kind of, if they were animals, what would the three amigos be?
Sometimes questions need to be simple. The Super Bowl will be telecast to foreign nations.
There'll be about 8 to 10 million people watching it live in England at about, from midnight to about 3:30 in the morning.
Akita Ishikawa will do the play-by-play for Japan. He likes San Diego.
Oh, very hot town and a beautiful town. Looks like a Japanese town.
Enrique Barak is on the Mexican broadcast team.
Nobody be on the streets because all of them will be looking at the game.
Media day for Super Bowl week, a time when cameras look more like periscopes. The name players draw the crowds. The subs are just happy to be here.
I was in the middle of it. Now I'm kind of off and back, but that's all right too.
How are you and the team handling the media?
I think we're enjoying it.
Vance's gonna be Vance, Mark's gonna be Mark, and I'm gonna be myself.
This is a day some defend as wonderful.
The biggest misstatement ever made about the Super Bowl is that it's a lot of hype.
This is a day for others to use more constructively. A day to rub shoulders with the winners. A day to remember the losers. For both teams, the most difficult job of Super Bowl 22 is over. They have met the media. A line from Ted Koppel seems appropriate. He once said, "How much of what is said is reported? Almost everything. How much of what is said is worth remembering? Almost nothing." Are you ready? Let's tee it up. John Killian, News 8 at the stadium.
So fun to see that old stadium. For fans, Super Bowls are everything. A culmination of years worth of hope and futility in many cases. A chance for their favorites to earn football immortality. Tens of thousands descend on the host cities. Many of fans don't even make it inside the game. But fans find a lot of ways to have fun, even if they never make it into the stadium, like our Doug McAllister.
I think I'm outnumbered here. Oh, sure, the out-of-towners were around. What else is there to do in San Diego the day before the Super Bowl but hang around the stadium?
That's 305 total. Don't pull out your visa, please.
They even shopped here, though prices are better most anywhere else. But buying at the Super Bowl is important to some.
Why not?
It's a heavy bundle, 305.
Sure is, but it's the way it goes. You can't buy these things in New Hampshire, you know.
The public was allowed to view the stadium, and good for the public. As before, our camera was denied, but we have ways. Here's what the stadium looks like inside, and it's looking pretty good.
Will you be going to the game?
No, we won't.
You just came here to see the stadium?
came here to
go inside, yes. How's it look?
It's great. They're still working, painting it up, and it looks pretty nice.
At times, the so-called security surrounding this Super Bowl event, and the stadium itself for that matter, has been as warm, open, friendly, and helpful as what you might find in a South American dictatorship. Why, you run into a wall of secrecy even when you ask the most innocuous question.
For instance, you're not allowed in the super secret VIP party area, and you can't even ask who's going to have a party in a particular tent.
We're not supposed to give that information out.
But it's MTV, right?
It could be. Could be a lot of things.
Who else would use the zebra skin tablecloth, right?
Gosh, I don't know.
Aside from the way some things have been handled, people who've been to other Super Bowls seem to like the San Diego area as a setting, especially compared to Pasadena.
I think it's a heck of a lot nicer. I really like it here.
With the game less than 24 hours away, the pre-game hype is running out. Even ticket prices are dropping, but they may not drop as low as some wish.
I think they'll come down this afternoon about $100.50.
How long will you wait before you break down and pay?
Well, the game starts tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Soon, not soon enough for some, the teams will take the field and settle this super matter. Won't it be fun again when the baseball season starts? Since the stadium wasn't opened until noon, the fans weren't expected until about that time. But they were strolling around the grounds in numbers as early as 9 a.m. Wanderers all the way from New York City were cooking up a mess of Italian sausage.
We're going to have peppers and onions with it, and then we have steaks.
The invitation-only corporate and other parties were going strong well before the gates opened, too. Some hosted as many as 200 guests and paid $52,000 to do so. Would you like to be inside with these special folks?
Wouldn't that be nice to be there? Yes, but I'm a little short on cash after everything else.
When the gates opened at noon, the partying in the rarefied air of the upper-level skyboxes got moving. With carpet and catering, this is the only way to go for some. But outside in the parking lot, the activity continued unaffected. Is this your pregame party?
At Super Bowl, the partying continues right up until game time, but kickoff doesn't necessarily mean that the party's over. Many are just discontinued until halftime or after the game.
This is just a timeout right now. We'll pull ourselves together and be back in a little while.
There may be better ways to spend a Sunday, but you couldn't find much support for alternatives here. Doug McAllister, News 8, the stadium.
A decade later, another chance for San Diego to be the center of the football universe. Super Bowl 32. The Broncos were back, hoping for better results, taking on the Packers, hoping to escape the Midwest cold. The game was in the same stadium with a new name, Qualcomm. Media Day wasn't that different than a decade before, but Kathy Chin found that the competition to get a good interview was almost as tough as the competition on the football field. The Gas Lamp hosted one of the best pregame parties you'll ever see. And the day of the big game, our Steve Price ran into people who reminded us that the term fan is short for fanatic.
Surprisingly, there was no mooing when Media Day began. Some call it a cattle call, it's so crowded, with media here from all over the world.
One of popular sports among young people.
Because everyone's trying to get a unique story, you'll see all kinds of different angles, even from the Golf Channel.
I can't believe the number of people here covering this. This is, I mean, I knew the Super Bowl was big, but not this big. This is like the Masters. This is really big.
Some photogs got a leg up on the competition so they could get that perfect shot. They were smart.
And then you try to get close to somebody like quarterback John Elway. It's virtually impossible.
We were able to come out of that flying colors and end of the season with a good win over the Chargers.
But not quite. Brett Favre and Reggie White are tough to get close to, too. But veteran reporters say, pretend you're a running back and you'll get there.
Sometimes the hole isn't there that long, but you have to move through the hole and get to where you're going. The podiums open up for just about 4 seconds. You can look like you got wheels. You can make that move. But you have to recognize the hole when it's there and get in it.
But it doesn't always work.
I've gotten bumped out of the way just trying to jockey for position. There are guys that are, one guy used his belly and just pushed me right out of the way.
Obviously, the players are targets of all the interviews, but they're also the focus for each other.
You got to get this moment on film and have the memories for your kids and everything. And I'm just excited to be here. It's a good time.
A good time, except for those never-ending questions about everything under the sun.
Well, we're covering the really important stuff like color schemes and, hairdos and things people really want to know about.
How does it feel to be in the Super Bowl? Might be probably the stupidest question.
What would you do if one of these burly
reporters come out trying to knock you out the way while you're trying to get a story.
Hey, I got pointy elbows. Pointy elbows. I go like that.
Ever seen a Bronco rider before? Seeing one now. We're going to take that baby all the way to the Super Bowl and get that ring.
Great activities here. We're having
Who's got better cheese, California or Wisconsin?
Oh,
Wisconsin. And we brought our own along. We're from Colorado.
See the Broncos win. Hey, go Broncos.
Super Bowl 32 cap, guys, $10 a piece. Bronco fans, Packers fans, guys, come here and take a look.
There's a bunch of weird people out here. Go Pack!
And he's not kidding. There really are a lot of weird people out here. I just have one question for you.
Yeah!
Why?
Super fan. Got to be the super fan, the ultimate fan, the ultimate game.
Oh, man, we're going all the way this year. True fans right here, man.
Yeah! And then there's the cheese. Cheese heads, cheese neckties, and cheese, never seen that before.
Steve, still a jokester. All right, 5 years after that, Super Bowl 37. No doubt it was going to be a fun game, and no doubt was also one of the halftime acts. It was the Raiders against the Buccaneers, and Dan Cohen found San Diegans had mixed feelings about their hated rivals from the north playing for a championship in the Chargers Stadium. The exception was a prominent businessman welcoming rowdy Raiders fans with open arms. Mark Prescott took in the fireworks the night before the game, and Jeff Goldberg worked his way through fired-up fans after the big game was over.
Journalists from all over the world were allowed just 1 hour with players from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Oakland Raiders. The questions were not only posed by the American media, but there were some radio and TV personalities from Mexico, Japan, and even Denmark. There were also a variety of celebrities on hand to test their interviewing skills, including MTV representatives Mandy Moore, a pop music singer, and Raven Simone, who is now all grown up from The Cosby Show. And oh yeah, there was one comedian trying to pass himself off as legendary promoter Don King.
Super Bowl 37, a game so big and exciting I can't find the words to describe it. It's stupendous, it's magnificacious, it's stupendous. I want to represent you, I want to be your manager, your agent, I want to be everything I got to be because I need some money, I need more money, you need money. This shouldn't even be free, this should be on pay-per-view, don't you agree?
For the most part, the players also had a pretty good sense of humor during the crazy day. Many of them even pointed their video cameras at us.
You know what, I don't remember. I've taken too many hits to the head in the last 15 years, and I can't really remember what happened yesterday, to be honest with you.
Is this fun for you? Do you like
I'm having a great time. Yeah, I'm having a good time, man.
Aren't you glad you're in San Diego instead of like, New England or something?
Or at home? Yeah. Been there before. Yeah, we're just having a good time, man. Chilling with the boys all week long. Just no kids, no wife, just hang out with the boys playing ball all week long.
Talk to Chargers fans in San Diego, and many would say this about the silver and black.
I never did like the Raiders.
Now the Raider Nation is invading our town, playing in our stadium Super Bowl Sunday. To most San Diegans, it's upsetting, except for one.
I'm looking forward to it, yes.
George Stallman, the bail bond king of San Diego. He wishes no ill to America's finest city, but says he knows the rowdy nature of the Raider faithful.
The fans are crazy.
Sunday night, wild fans went crazy in Oakland in the gas lamp, shouting from street corners and hollering at drivers.
They're wild. They are wild, and they have that reputation, and they're going to try and maintain that reputation. So they're going to do everything they can to say, hey, here we're in town, fellas.
And that's when the king says his services will be available. To some Raiders fans, San Diegans blow it out of proportion, saying the silver and black get a bad rap.
Oh, that's a joke. The Raider fans are just dedicated, they're loyal, they're willing to do whatever.
The Super Bowl 37 pregame festivities ended with a bang tonight.
Thousands of people turned out to watch 10 tons of fireworks illuminate the San Diego skyline. It did not disappoint.
Whoa, whoa, woo! What are these gonna do? Whoa!
Some of these things I've never even seen before in my life, like the twists and turns and stuff, and they're just pretty. Just really pretty.
The line that goes boom, boom, boom.
Officials say this was the largest fireworks display in San Diego history. 14,000 shells in just 20 minutes, culminating a week of jam-packed action leading up to tomorrow's big game. Of course, the brilliant display widened the eyes of local youngsters and some that have seen fireworks for a lot of years.
I like the one, it was with this circle and then it had a heart inside and it looked like Roxy. I think they're great. I like the one with the planet-shaped firework.
Oh my God!
What do you think so far? What do you think of the fireworks?
It's incredible. This is the best I've ever seen. It's fabulous.
Both groups are proud. They both come from warm weather cities, and they both root for teams with pirate mascots. So how do you tell an Oakland Raider fan from a Tampa Bay Buck fan?
We're nice people.
We're the nicer group.
Our colors are prettier. Yeah. We have great colors.
And we feel more confident. We know we're going to win this game.
I think Raider fans are more devoted to their team, more vocal about their team, more dedicated.
Buck fans less dedicated, maybe. A little more reserved, almost certainly.
They're a lot more mellower than we are. They're scared, dude.
Oh,
they're scared.
We noticed some differences too. Buck fans seem to travel in smaller groups, while Raider fans stay in packs. Buck fans dress for Mardi Gras, Raider fans for Halloween. Former San Francisco 49er lineman Bubba Paris noticed some differences too, in attitude and sleeping patterns.
Well, the Raiders fans sleep wherever they can. They sleep in boxes, they sleep in, they sleep by the jail, they sleep at the border crossing. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans have a tendency to sleep in their rooms.
Some female Buck fans also say their counterparts need some help with hygiene.
Female Raiders fans need flea dips.
Please, the Raider girls are the hottest girls, man. And we can back it up too.
So they might act and look a little different, but one thing fans of both teams share is confidence in winning.
Raiders!
Oakland's in town now!
Oakland's in town!
As Super Bowl 37 came to a close, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans knew their team had finally won it all. From the bars to the streets, Buck fans celebrated a victory they had waited on for years.
After 27 years, it's over! Let's go, Buccaneers! We won the Super Bowl!
Despite the win, Buck fans could not overwhelm the Raider diehards. Even talking to some Buck fans turned out to be a challenge.
He wins because of the fact that he won money.
Raider Nation! Raider Nation! Even though we lost, we're still Raider fans. For life.
Oh, it's Raider love. It's Raider love. Win, lose. Raider to our die.
San Diego police did have to break up some trouble after the game, but say problems got taken care of quickly. As of early Sunday morning, police had made 135 Super Bowl-related arrests, mostly fighting and drunkenness in the Gaslamp.
We've said from the beginning that if you come in here to break the law, we're going to respond aggressively and quickly. And I think we've done that, and I think it's helped.
No, because they're losers. They lost.
The Buccaneer fans were outnumbered by the Raider fans this week, but numbers don't matter when your team is champion.
Man came to San Diego, and I said, go Red!
Maybe someday we'll get one again. So you might remember San Diego did have an NFL team at one point, the Chargers. They made it to one Super Bowl back in 1995. And if you weren't around, it's hard to understand just how the entire city was touched by Chargers fever. Larry Himmel was there in Jack Murphy Stadium, Qualcomm, with tens of thousands of Chargers fans, not for a game, but to welcome the team home after the Bolts clinched the AFC title. The fans were more than a little frenzied, hyped up by a Hall of Famer. And Judy Sue found the fever spreading everywhere with signs on businesses covering massive parking lots and even with songs in schools.
On the morning after, life goes on at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. They're setting up for the Monster Truck Rally. Last night, a monster homecoming, the size of which this city has never seen. A delirious crowd of about 70,000 jammed into the stadium. For 2 hours, they chanted Super Bowl and danced and partied and awaited the arrival of their AFC champion San Diego Chargers. Years of football frustration erupted into a mega party. By the time the team arrived at about 8:40 p.m., the fans were frenzied. San Diego had finally come of age. A teary-eyed Junior Seau echoed that sentiment.
Now, the world is going to know. Not about Junior Seau, not about Nature on Me, not about Stan Huff, not about Leslie O'Neal, but the San Diego Chargers.
After the team left the field, fans poured out of the stands, past police and security. For a while, things got out of control. I was broadcasting live when the floor of the stadium erupted into one big slam dance. Today, the stadium has survived. The city has survived, slightly hungover and a bit partied out, and still having a hard time imagining that it actually happened. Now it's on to Miami for a David versus Goliath Super Bowl. Larry Himmel, News 8.
They started arriving late last night. This morning, there were already tens of thousands of them, Charger fans. By sunrise, a giant lightning bolt like no other.
It's history being made right now. Right now. This is first time Charger history.
And these Charger fans were determined to be a part of it.
I've been here since 3:15 this morning. I thought I was early. Found out that they was here at 11 o'clock last night.
Why? Because the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl!
The Human Bolt was sponsored by a local radio station. Turnout was phenomenal.
Ran along the fence around the stadium, then it doubled back, then it turned, then it doubled back again.
A lot of standing. Kind of felt like a cow.
Go Chargers!
There were bolt dogs, bolt heads, and those who were simply bolted out. Some danced, others screamed. Well, he's wondering what's gotten into Mom and Dad. They were charged. One woman said the crowd was so excited, she was shoved to the ground.
People are going a little bit too crazy, I think. It's not as safe.
It was one wild party, but the message is clear.
We're going all the way. We're bringing it home. We're bringing the ring home.
Perhaps lightning will strike again. Judy Sue, News 8 at the stadium. These are the believers. Hundreds of them crowded the stadium to show their faith. And they are ready to work some miracles.
I think it's great that the fans come out here and support us, and it'd be so fitting for us to bring it back home to these guys because they certainly deserve it.
Let's see the bolt.
There's got two.
It's the final send-off, the Chargers on the road to Super Bowl.
It makes you feel good, gives you that little bit boost knowing that, we have people supporting you, backing you up, no matter what.
Along the way, it looked more like a presidential motorcade. A few dozen more were waiting to catch that final glimpse at the airport. They had been waiting all morning. Even airline crews were hit with Charger fever. As the team boarded the plane, they seemed relaxed and ready. Then a final wave from Coach Bobby Ross to the fans.
The Chargers are going to beat the Niners, baby!
There are bolts and there are Super Bowls. Charger fever is now reaching an epidemic. These third graders in Ocean Beach even composed their own Charger song.
We had special t-shirts designed that the kids are allowed to wear this week only instead of their uniform shirts.
Whether it's on t-shirts, windows, or utility trucks, you can't miss the yellow and blue.
Yeah, we have a few of them made up, and everybody's passing them around at work.
From hats to earrings, from Encinitas to Mission Valley to La Mesa, the message is clear.
Chargers are going to win.
Now, some people are kind of confused about this, but at this gas station in Kearney Mesa, you don't just get your regular unleaded gasoline. When you want to fill her up, you ask for a tank full of Stan. You see, the pumps are now named after the owner's favorite players. And if you still don't get what the Bolt is all about, listen up.
The sheriff makes them pay and say I'm made to play and Gibson saved the day. The Chargers family.
Judy Sue, News 8.
Everybody was fired up.
Right? I like it.
As for Media Day at Super Bowl 29, Ted Leitner didn't dig it. He said if you were looking for news, you wouldn't find it there, and that made for a grumpy Uncle Teddy.
It sure did. Now, the game was in Miami, and Jody Hammond found it might be the only place in the country that time of year where Chargers fans feel right at home.
There's only one day that everyone hates, players, fans, media alike. Today is Media Day. Thousands of reporters from around the nation, some who know football, some who couldn't recognize the ball itself, who come around and try to ask questions, find the big scoop, find the big story, big problem. There are none.
I like Dick Butkus and Lawrence Taylor and Singletary, Ray Niskey. I mean, your Jack Hams, your Lamberts. I mean, you have a lot of the great linebackers out there. And, you know, the goal here, personally, is to be part of that elite group when I'm done.
Televisa Mexico.
I wish I spoke Spanish. I don't know any Spanish.
No problem.
All right.
See, most of the time, the problem with the questions is the questions. They're the same old tired, cliched questions. Guess what they get? The same old tired, cliched answers.
There's no pressure on us. There's none whatsoever on us.
There's only one game left, and we're it. So, you know, I guess everybody's going to be covering it, and hopefully, you know, we can give you guys a nice show.
If you're not a star player, this can be embarrassing. Walking around, staring at the ground, hoping someone with a notepad or a microphone will ask you a question. So forget Deion Sanders and Junior Seau and Jerry Rice. Give me David Binn, the Chargers' long snapper.
My dad had me out in the backyard. He put a little target up on the fence. Gave me a little Nerf ball. No, I'm just kidding.
The Chargers' portion of Media Day lasted an hour, same with the 49ers. But even for an hour, some players got so bored standing around, they have to resort to amusing themselves.
Oh yeah. I get this.
And in American Super Bowl tradition, members of the media, tired of talking to the players, turn the cameras on themselves. Media Day, 5,000 guys on expense accounts trying to justify why they're on expense account, gathered around the Deion Sanders of the world asking questions and trying to ask one unique, like, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Like it or not, and trust me, the players don't, Media Day is here to stay. It's become part of the Super Bowl tradition, like the Roman numerals, traditional as the national anthem.
For the dawn's early light.
That's better than Kathy Lee. That was beautiful.
You want it, they have it. T-shirts, sweatshirts, caps, jackets, Charger buttons, 49er buttons, Super Bowl buttons.
Oh, just something different.
Super Bowl shot glasses, Super Bowl programs, official Super Bowl footballs for $100. The official Super Bowl slogan should be cha-ching.
Jackets, T-shirts, sweatshirts.
Spend about 30, 40 bucks?
A little bit more than that. Quite a 300 or 400 is closer. Yeah.
But I got T-shirts and I got hats and I got pins and I spent too much money.
Lots of Charger stuff. Charger caps, footballs, bolts, Charger bandanas or do-rags.
You know, Deion Sanders wears his 49ers one all the time, so I think the Charger fans want back.
Jeez, all kind of throwback jerseys, caps.
Now, the key to the souvenir buying is to be like the players. You want to remain focused. You need to concentrate, you need to work, you need to stick to your game plan. And you can't buy too much stuff. After all, you don't want to look like a tourist.
I wouldn't wait.
Should I get a large or an extra large?
What's that?
This is an extra large.
I get a large.
You get a large, does it look too big?
I see the NFL in a whole new way, man.
They have what you're looking for, unless you're
looking for love in all the wrong places.
They don't sell that at souvenir stands, you know.
Yes, they do.
They sell it on Biscayne Boulevard.
That's another story, though. Here, the story is souvenirs. Yours for a price. Of course, some people need that big souvenir, and that's harder to find.
Super Bowl week officially kicked off last Sunday night with super tenor Luciano Pavarotti. His concert hall, the sand of Miami Beach.
Oh, it's like everything Miami's all about. Super Bowl, Pavarotti, the beach, us.
It was a gift in advance to a city about to feel the scrutiny of media overload. Not that Miami is stressed out or anything. They're partying hardy, as always. And you can easily find a San Diegan or two joining the natives. Even a guy from the Chargers ticket office.
So if people are still upset about not getting their tickets through the lottery, you're the guy that they should be mad at, right?
That's right. We have our cellular phone right here, but we won't give out the number.
In Fort Lauderdale, the East Coast capital of spring break, al fresco wining and dining is possible even in January. And a morning coffee at a sidewalk cafe is the best way to start the day in South Florida.
We'll put the football right at the top in the center.
No, he's not mapping out Super Bowl strategy. Mark Altamar is designing a sand sculpture. The completed work will feature 2 Chargers and 2 49ers, including San Francisco quarterback Steve Young.
The ball will be in the air. You won't know if the pass is caught or intercepted. You won't know if the quarterback was successful or he just got sacked and he threw an incomplete pass.
Over at Joe Robbie Stadium, they're making preparations too.
So, how do you like my seats? Pretty good, huh? Too bad they're not actually inside the real stadium for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes, the parking lot is the center of most of the activity at Joe Robbie Stadium for the next few days. Crews are setting up the NFL Experience, an interactive theme park that takes up 650,000 square feet. You can compare your grip to a famous quarterback or check out a little Super Bowl history.
What a fun look back at all of our Super Bowl coverage.
It was good stuff. And who knows, maybe you still root for the Chargers, and maybe someday they'll make it back to the big game.
Maybe, just maybe. Thank you so much for watching this Throwback special.
To see more throwbacks like this one on CBS 8+, click on the News tab at the top of the screen. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Marcella Lee. We'll see you next time.